This is an Alternerd reality podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Alternerd Reality Podcast. It is a podcast for all things nerdy, all things gaming, basically all things awesome. I am one of your hosts, Chewburger84, and joining me, as always, after an incident misnaming an actor in the last movie, he has been placed on the Minority Report. It is Hebrew Hammer. How are you, buddy?
I am good, and yeah, I messed up a lot on that one tiny thing. There was a lot to be embarrassed about.
You gave me a Tom Cruise reference, though. That's all I needed.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, that's me. I'm here.
What are you going to do? People do it with Australian actors all the time, too. Everyone thinks everyone's Paul Hogan.
Sure, that makes me feel better.
Yeah. All right. And saving our asses from running just the two of us once again is DeHooch. Welcome back for not only another week, but for the third time this week.
Hey, it's glad to hear it. As the owner of the Minority Report, I would like to see this man canceled immediately.
Do you reckon that like people that are doing like cancellation these days are like they have like those kind of work screens from Minority Report, just going, well, this person made comments about transgender, but this guy did transgenders and people with cervical cancer. Do you know what I mean? Like they've got like this whole thing of, all right, next, yeah, we need to kill that guy before he makes the bad comment on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? It feels like
I think that there are 100% those people. I don't think that there are out in masses yet, but I think that they exist.
Those people can go fuck themselves.
I don't know if it's so much proactive as just hyper reactive.
Yeah, that's true. But they go looking for it, so they're proactive in their reactiveness. Is what we get.
That's true. That's true.
Proactive pricks. All right, super quick shameless shilling. Make sure you tell your friends about this show if you are a nerd. Which obviously, why would you listen to this if you weren't? Head over, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. 5-star definitely helps us, and if you do so, we'll read out your comment live on air next week. Head on over to the Patreon if you really, really, really want to help support the show. Patreon.com/ANRpod. The guys over there have been listening to us they have the option to listen to us for 4 hours straight because we leave this unedited, especially when we do multiple episodes. So that's patreon.com/ANRpod. And then, of course, make sure you join the conversation and tell us about all your nerdy favorite things, or more importantly, why we got it all wrong, over on discord.me/ANR. So we've covered the big games of the week that we've been playing, and obviously Cyberpunk, so we're not going to talk about that again. We've talked about the massive amount of news already this week with the Disney announcements and Star Wars and the backlash with Warner Brothers. Now we're going to get to the Game of the Year awards and the slew of announcements of games and new trailers that came out this week, because good God, it was Nerdageddon this week with all the news that came out. Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet Jesus, it was good.
It
is a good time to be a gamer right now, folks. Let me tell you.
Heck yes.
The holidays are great to begin with, but this one just seems super, super jam-packed.
Just condensed. That's it, because it's all, there was nothing for like the first 7 months of the year, and then it's everything at the end.
That's true. All the information that we got was based off of, would have been delivered to us earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and trickled out more so than just like the big blam, here it all is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like no one let you feed for like 3 months and just took you to Sizzler and just said, all right, there you go, make it up for it.
Have at it.
Yeah, I'll roll you out of here when you're done. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all the news of the week, but we're going to go through the 2020 Game Awards first, and we're going to talk about the different categories, who won, who we perhaps disagree with in some areas, or who we think they got right. So let's start off with the big one, boys, the Game of the Year. The nominees already, I disagree with that these were the biggest ones. I think there should have been a lot more. First one is Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I don't disagree with that one, because that one was so popular. Everybody loved it. So many people were playing it. Yeah. So that one I don't disagree with.
I just don't think it was it was a popular game. I just don't know if it was like a great game, or compare relative to all the other great games that we've had. So it depends on what your, I guess, like what your quantifying.
What your criteria is for Game of the Year.
Exactly. Yeah. See, I think that one has every right to be here because of like the cultural impact it had as well. Like, I mean, you had like Biden and people making their own characters in there, for God's sake. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I think it has more of a right to be there than Doom Eternal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I love Doom Eternal. Do not get me wrong. But I do not think it has a place on the Game of the Year awards list. Nor do I think Final Fantasy VII Remake should be there. The key word in there, it is a remake. And I know there's a shit ton of new content there. And I know that it is a remake, not a remaster. And, it technically is a new game in every sense of the word there. But I don't know. Something about it being here just didn't feel right. Ghost of Tsushima, I absolutely think should have been a contender on this list.
Yes, I 100% agree with that, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hades, I still haven't had a good chance to play it, but I know, Hooch, you went balls deep on this game.
Yes, I think Hades is well-deserved of being on this list. Not only is it a great roguelike, it is just a great game all around, from the voice acting, from the gameplay, from the story, from the fact that the music is fantastic. Yeah, I definitely think it belongs on this list.
Yeah. Last of Us 2 was not only a contender, but it took it out. I don't think too many of us are surprised by that. Obviously, it was such a major, major release for this year. And it feels like everyone was talking about that the way that everyone's been talking about Cyberpunk recently. Like, it was everywhere for the controversy, for obviously trying to back up the hype of the original game. It was a pretty big deal, and a great game as well. It should be
would you say that was better or even as good as the first one? Because I personally didn't think so.
I don't think it's as good as the first one. I think it's a very, very good game by any other metric on standard. But I will say that while some of the mechanics were certainly improved, and obviously visually it's stunning, and the voice cast just nailed it again. Like, they're incredible. But I think the narrative story and the way it was structured together was significantly better. And there wasn't too many moments in the original Last of Us where you were like, fuck, when do we get to the next cool bit? And in some cases, Last of Us 2, I think the pacing was sometimes a bit slow. And then they did the whole, there's going to be obviously some spoilers here, folks, because we're at the end of the year now. You've had your time. Lord of the Rings, book ending, that there was 1,000 different endings in that book, and that's kind of what this game did. It felt like it should have ended about 3 times before it actually did.
I agree.
Do I think it should have been considered for the Game of the Year? Yeah, I think it's probably pretty hard to knock that off.
I think it should have been considered. Yes, I don't know if it should have won though.
What do you think should have won the Game of the Year? Because this is probably the one we'll argue about the most.
Ghost, I think, should have probably taken it.
I don't know. I think that game was much more specific. I think that it grabbed a lot of people, and it certainly sold incredibly well. But I don't know.
I think that Ghost is a better game. It was not as popular. So once again, it goes to criteria, I guess. If popularity was a big metric in what they were weighing out, then I guess it makes sense that The Last of Us Part 2 won, for sure. But I think that Ghost was a better crafted game.
Well, if you're going popularity, wouldn't Animal Crossing have won then? Because I think Animal Crossing was more popular.
I think The Last of Us had the best of both worlds in that it had, for at least for me, more interesting and better gameplay than Animal Crossing, but it also had popularity not quite as much as Animal Crossing because it's not as universal, but So it would make sense that won over Animal Crossing, at least.
Well, also Last of Us had more things like the direction, the voice acting, the pacing, or whatever. It was.
Which by the way, it won almost all of those too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it had all of those things that Animal Crossing didn't, which was Animal Crossing just a big old sandbox.
Yeah.
That had a lot of appeal and a lot of creativity where you can kind of create your own world and island and share it with people. So, I mean, that's what made that super popular.
I think judging on how they divvied it up, actually, now that I'm looking at it more, I think probably it was the biggest metric here was popularity.
I think there's always some games that miss out, but in saying that, indie games always get in. I know Hades was, for an indie game, tremendously successful, but I don't think anywhere near as many people played Hades as they did everything else on this list.
Oh yeah, well I bet it got in last place on this list.
I would say easily. Well, Doom
on
Eternal,
that list.
No,
on this
actually,
list. Yeah,
I don't. Nah, not on this list. Nah, I
as
think
far
Hades
as popularity is concerned.
Yeah, I think Hades would have been more popular than maybe Doom Eternal.
I don't think so at all.
I think so. That game is pretty big. Because 2016
Whoa.
brought like that back, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was
Doom's
every
a super
console.
classic game. Hades is the first of its kind, and it was indie. I don't see that as...
And it had a split release too, right? Like, it didn't come out on every platform at the same time, whereas Doom Eternal was everywhere day one. We're even getting a Switch port.
And it had
now,
marketing
I want to say,
behind it,
which will be
too.
dog shit, I'm sure, but...
Well, Hades already had this Switch port, right?
It did, yeah.
So,
Yeah, which is probably where I want to play it, I think.
We probably shouldn't spend too much time on the first
Yeah,
game.
no, exactly.
No, this is the one. This is the game of the year. This is the one that we argue. Everything else is just this is what happened, right?
Yeah.
I really do think that Half-Life Alyx should have been at least a Game of the Year nominee because Animal Crossing, don't get me wrong, a phenomenon, but did it really do much different to every other Animal Crossing game before it? It's like, there's some new closets now. There's a new plant thing on an island. You know what I mean? It's still the same. This is what you can do for a day. Then you have to go away and then come back and like build things and collect things. It wasn't like game changing. Like it didn't really set the world on fire. It was a sequel that added in some new features. Like it'd be like saying, WoW Shadowlands is Game of the Year or Mortal Kombat 11 is Game of the Year. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not redefining much. It looks prettier this time around. There's more stuff to do in it. Systems have been optimized, but to say it's like the game of the year, I don't know about that. Whereas
I definitely think that the two most undeserving of the two is Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, for sure.
I reckon Final Fantasy VII Remake
actually
should probably be the first one to go, and Doom Eternal, to be honest. Animal Crossing's I can see as a nominee, but not even close to the winner because you know, it has mass appeal the same way that Candy Crush does, right? Because it's adorable and easily accessible and all of that. But it's not something for me. But Half-Life Alyx, man, like, it made VR go from VR's dead, it's not going to happen anymore, people aren't investing in it, to the shit again. And Steam's investing in it. Sony's apparently looping around to take a second look. Obviously, Oculus is still spending much more money developing now. I think that VR, outside of porn, was probably saved by Half-Life Alyx. Like, I really do. I think it was that impactful culturally. And it was a fucking amazing
played
game.
it yet, so I know I need to
play this game.
I know I
It
need
is
to play,
the
you've,
game
You've sung its
for
praises
VR.
so many times to me.
Yeah. I just can't I can't underrate. It's the most immersive. Like, you can pick up a pen and write on something and it doesn't feel like there's a disconnect between your hand and the controller. Like, it feels there. You throw something and gravity feels normal. It doesn't feel like I throw something up and then it goes, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't
like
feel
it floats
fake.
off in some...
Yeah, or like, you know, in like a lot of games, you like motion with your hand of what should move a chair about an inch in real life, and it goes, smashes through 3 walls because you've thrown it so hard. Like, this game, the physics, the story, the voice acting, everything about that game was top notch. It should have at least been a contender in my mind for Game of the Year, and it had some love in a lot of other categories. But I mean, I was so into that game for 2020. I think it was incredible. I really do.
So what other games? So far you said Final Fantasy VII and Doom Eternal will be out. You would replace one with Half-Life Alyx. What would be your other to round out the nominees?
A lot of them are more category things. Like, I do think that Disco Elysium is a very specific game, but I think it was so different that it maybe even a contender, because it really sort of created a genre almost. Like, it's a D&D game in essence, but like a psychological D&D game. Like, you're making dice rolls as to like which parts of your psyche actually win in what's ultimately a detective game that has no combat. You know, there's so much crazy stuff in like that. I don't think Miles Morales belongs up here, although it was certainly a great game. I just think it was basically an expansion pack. I don't think it adds enough to warrant being in here. I don't know about Genshin, whether it deserves a spot in here, because again, it's come out of nowhere. I guess if it wasn't as much of a Breath of the Wild clone, I'd probably argue a bit harder for it to be here, just because it really has created something out of nothing, that game. Like, they've got a games as a service model, probably more gacha style really, but it's not. It can be a gacha game and it can't be at the same time. Like, how you approach that game, it can be vastly different and tick multiple boxes. And it's still a very strong narrative game that's being very regularly worked on in faster ways, their development schedule, than any other games as a service model that's out there right now. Like, it's had more content releases since it's been out than Destiny, Avengers, World of Warcraft. Like, they've all had like one thing. They're about to go into their third patch before year's end. Is that right? Or early next year or something?
Yeah. They're going to be hitting they're going to be doing their next one in like I think like 7 days or something now, and then there's going to be another one soon, at like right after Christmas, I think.
So wait, the next one 1.2 meaning, or 1.1 something?
1.2 and then 1.3.
1.2 1.3. Wow.
Yeah, we get a whole new region.
Super early
shortly,
January.
Dude. Yeah, 1.2 is the whole new region. Dragon Spawn. Like, it's actually crazy.
Oh my god.
So, but I think, I don't know if it deserves. It absolutely should be on for the mobile, which we'll get to. But game of the year, like in general, I just don't know. It definitely shouldn't win, or obviously, or anything, which I think we both agree on. But whether it should be nominated, I'm not sure. If it isn't, it would be very high up on the list, certainly top 10. But yeah.
I guess that's a problem when you're only putting like 5 names forward, right? Is that some of those, 6 names in the case of this, like there's so many that were like very close. But I can see why Genshin, in a lot of ways, wouldn't be appreciated by like large swathes of that community. And I don't think you're going to get a gacha game taking that title out. I think people are going to be just too anti it because it's very, non-traditional. And it's different in a lot of ways. So look, But then you, I guess you can go further and talk about like, why are they there? Is it impact? Is it sales? Is it just the overall quality of the game? Because you have things like Fall Guys, which was just an absolute phenomenon that came out of nowhere this year. That you go, should that be game of the year? So look, I think I can settle with Last of Us Part 2 being the game of the year. There's probably only 2 names on there that I wouldn't have nominated myself, and I think Half-Life Alyx is probably my glaring omission, if you will.
Yeah. 3 for sure. I think that we probably both, or I guess all, with maybe exception to you two, would agree should be on there. Ghosts, Hades, Last of Us. Are we all in agreement there?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I can see why Ghosts is in there as a conversation. Just me personally, I think that there was parts of that game, like the overall story of Ghosts, I don't think was that strong. The main story.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Best game direction went to Last of Us 2. Best narrative went to Last of Us 2. Most of the same nominees there, except for 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. I don't even know what that game is.
I've never heard of it.
And it was
voted. It might be a game that was
narrative.
only in China or something too.
I don't know about that one. Best art direction went to Ghost of Tsushima. You know what? That one I will pay. I think that's fair.
You think so?
Yeah. Who do you think it should go to?
No. I'm just. So, what was it about the Ghost of Tsushima art direction that you guys were like, oh yeah, this one stands out the most?
Spending any time in that world and the authenticity and like the way it was very a romanticized sort of oil painting, if you will, of feudal Japan. Like you could tell that they had a very specific way they wanted to show the tone of feudal Japan. Like they had, the trees being very prominent, and then the background would fall apart, and it was more the environment that was sort of brought to the forefront rather than the individual characters or players or enemies, or whatever. It was very much about like trying to make you feel a certain way about that era and that part of the world at that time. And then obviously you had, some of the real beats where they went very dark or very black and white or whatever during certain beats of the game. I think that there was an authenticity about parts of it and a romanticism about certain parts of it that just made sense to me. Once they didn't really go away from that. I think it was very consistent all the way through.
Okay. I mean, for me personally, obviously, like, I didn't play all the way through Ghost of Tsushima, but from like what I saw, I liked it. But I think for me, something about art direction is like, well, yes, it's a great looking game, but it's still kind of like it's just pushing, realism a little bit further. For me, I'm more about like something that seems you stuck with a theme, right? And you were like, hey, this is how we want to push this. So like I would almost kind of lean more towards Hades because it was the way they came up with the character design and you know, the world, the environment, like when you're in the House of the Dead, it's just like so just not like it's just gorgeous looking, and you have, you know, the ability to add new stuff to it to just flesh it out even more, to make it look even more. It's just, you know, it was vibrant, it was colorful, it had easily discernible themes when you were going to each different zone, and the ambiance or whatever, that the whole scheme for each zone kind of had its own thing. To me that just seems more of like a little bit more standout than Ghost of Tsushima, and that's not taking anything away from Ghost of Tsushima. So I think
it definitely had a very unique style, especially making it look and feel so modern for being a animated cartoonish. I don't want to say it like
a cell shaded game.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, cell shaded game. Like I think that was it did an incredibly good job of that, and it 100% deserves to be nominated. But I do think Ghosts did it what it set out to do as well, so fucking well. So yeah, I would back that one.
Okay.
Still over Hades, but Hades would be probably. Actually, definitely be my second, and it would be close, honestly.
And let's be real, like Hades is punched above its weight all year. Like it's in almost every category as an indie. Like I mean, no one should take anything
Impressive
away from Hades. Like by all descriptions, it's just a truly amazing game. With a very great everything. Really, it's just that a lot of these games had significantly better budgets. And
anytime you can get me to play a roguelike for over 100 hours. You've succeeded.
It's that game for 2020 that I kept going to play, and then something else would come out like that week. I bought it ages ago before it was on the Game Pass. So I had to look into it. Best score in music went to the Final Fantasy VII remake. I didn't play it, but music has always been a big deal in those games.
There, yeah.
Yep, Doom Eternal was in there because they always have great metal mixes. I do think if Cyberpunk had come out earlier in the year, I think it would be featured either there in score and music or audio design. Have you been to the strip club in Cyberpunk 2077 yet, Hooch?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you hear the bass I was talking about?
Yes, yeah. It's just
dude, it's so in the ears when you turn your head as well, like how specific it is. It's got that feel where like you're at a nightclub and you can't hear someone, so you have to turn your head a specific way to get the bass out of your head so you can hear them. That game does that, right? So they better include that for score and music, because driving around the car, the different radio stations, there is so much great music in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, there is.
And audio design, like, not to me sneeze that as well. I think we'll see that in here next year. Best audio design went to Last of Us Part 2. Resident Evil 3, weirdly, was on that list.
Wow. Well,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's a strange one. I don't know where that one came out of, but sure.
Now, best performance. So the nominees were Allie from Last of Us, Abby from Last of Us, Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima, Hades from Hades, and Miles Morales from Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Who do you think took it out?
Laura Bailey deserves it.
She's had a year. Great performance in the game, do not get me wrong, but with all the shit that was thrown at her, just completely unnecessarily. There was so much dog shit the way that pockets of the nerd community reacted there.
At the very least, I consider that an apology letter.
You dealt with our shit here.
Yeah, look, I haven't played Hades, but I think it had to be one of those two anyway. I think Last of Us was winning this either way, but whether it was Allie or Abby. But I think Abby had a lot more of the big highs and lows to play off of, and so many varied things. Like, had to be a psycho killer and protecting this kid at the same time in a way that at the start you didn't really like, but you generally grew to care about that person. To do all of that in the time frame they had, I think this is well deserved for Laura Bailey.
Yeah, you had to take her from somebody you despised to somebody you actually sympathized with.
Yeah. Now this category I do not understand. Games for impact. I don't know what this category is. I don't know what the defining things were, but it was 5 games that I barely heard of this year. So If Found, Kentucky Route Zero, that I have heard of that. Spiritfarer, Through the Darkest Times, and Tell Me Why was the winner of that one. So who knows? Best Ongoing, which is Games as a Service. No Man's Sky picked that out. Now, I think that's such an incredible story with what they've done with that game.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of companies that are thinking that people will stick with them. That's the model to do it. Admit you screwed up, take the time, re-release it the right way. Probably, unfortunately, have to do some of it for free. And then add VR. So...
Other companies should pay attention to that. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Best indie, hands down, was Hades. That wasn't even a contest. Best mobile game, though. This was...
Here we go.
Hebrew, you have to weigh in on this. The nominees were Pokemon Cafe Mix. Okay. Call of Duty on mobile, which I forget is a thing, but it was a massive thing.
Yeah.
Legends of Runeterra, of course. Wild Rift is obviously going to be next year's contender. Genshin Impact, and then Among Us won the category.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
that? I mean, like, I think I understand why Among Us won. And it's because its popularity was fucking insane. It instantly outdid literally every game on Twitch. So I'm assuming that's literally the only metric as to why it won. But Genshin and Legends of Runeterra 100% deserve... Like, I honestly, like, Legends of Runeterra is my gut game to say best mobile game, honestly, because it's that one company that makes games that fly in the face of hyper monetized greedy industries. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like they deserve to claim a stake in that mobile space because they're now fucking things up for one of the most predatory mobile genres, which is trading card games.
The card collector,
yeah. So for that, I think that they should have won. If not that, Genshin Impact should have won for sure, because they, for all the reasons that we said earlier, they came in and they fucking killed it. And they killed it on, like, every fucking console. But especially to do something like that with those kind of graphics on a mobile game with that kind of load time and everything for people, and keeping, like, the quality as high as it is. And in many ways, going against, like, people are probably going to freak out if they hear this, you know, that are on Reddit in that community. But, like, for honestly what can be one of the most free to play mobile games, if you play it that way, I think that it deserves to have second place. So yeah, I don't agree with. I mean, like, I understand why Among Us won, but I don't agree with it.
So I'm going to fight on the technicality that, like, the mobile port might have been 2020, but that game came out in 2018.
Yes, that's what I was going to come back with. Like, that game was not this year. I mean, it's a 2-year-old game.
No one can deny the impact that game had. Yeah.
They have that with other things too, though. Like, there's a bunch of other games here that aren't technically.
But they're, like, at least a remake or something like that. This is a game that just is featured on this year's list, but nothing was really new other than maybe a port. It's the same game. Anyway, best community support was won by Fall Guys. Best VR game, Half-Life Alyx. I mean, there's actually some pretty tough competition there. Like, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners was an awesome VR experience. Truly terrifying in some instances. Star Wars Squadrons in VR. I've already jizzed over on this podcast how cool it felt being in an X-Wing like that. Marvel's Iron Man VR was okay. It was limited more so by the fact it was PSVR. Innovation and accessibility was won by Last of Us Part 2. Best action game was Hades. I don't know why Streets of Rage 4 was on that list.
Well, it was a highly hyped up game, though.
Now, best action adventure. Now, here is a game I forgot all about was 2020 because this year has been that long. Jedi Fallen Order was 2020.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I actually don't know how that didn't pick up more wins. That game was fucking awesome.
It was fucking awesome, but it did have some things where you could kind of see where the edges were. Like, you could kind of see the corners that they cut on that game that highlighted I mean, narratively, it was fun as fuck. But some of the mechanics weren't like 100% that made it the thing. But it definitely made the final list for this, as did Miles Morales for Best Action Adventure. But Last of Us Part 2 took that out.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, is that... Would you say it's an action game?
No. I mean, adventure.
I think it's more like a thriller.
Yeah.
So you can almost throw it in role-playing. Like, that's kind of... Like, it's... You know, it's... Yeah. Anyway, there it is. Best role-playing game went to the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Again, I feel a lot of people were pretty hard done by for that winning. You know, in a whole different decade. Best fighting game went to Mortal Kombat 11. I think it's a pretty easy one this year to win. Smash is probably the only thing that would have given it a run for its money, but wasn't even on the list.
No, because Smash came out... It didn't come out this year.
Oh, shit, was it
Smash
2019? Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's why it wasn't there.
Otherwise it would have absolutely crushed it.
Yeah. Best family game went to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think that's probably fair.
Yep.
Best sim or strategy game went to Microsoft Flight Simulator. In a year that XCOM Chimera Squad came out, or Gears Tactics came out, I cannot believe that game wins.
Yeah.
You don't remember all the hype over Flight Simulator's accuracy?
No, I do. I just don't understand why the fuck that's in the same category. Because Gears Tactics, fuck, I love that game. That was really, really good in that XCOM style.
Yeah. Simulation and strategy should not be the same.
That's a weird choice, right?
No.
Goat Simulator versus XCOM. Like, that couldn't happen. You know? Crazy, dude.
The greatest crossover we never had, by the way.
Oh my god, next year when people are all out of ideas in 2021.
Yep.
Okay, then we have best sports game went to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Again, feels a bit hard done by for the new titles. But then again, like, what sports game isn't a continuation of a series these days?
Mike is happy with that one.
Yeah, best multiplayer went to Among Us. Again, probably fair. Content creator of the year. I didn't realize that was a category. Weird that we weren't featured. Because no one's ever heard of us. There was an Australian on the list, Alana Pierce. J.N. Lopez, Nick Merckx, Tim the Tatman, and Valkyrie was the winner. No surprise there. That's one of the up-and-coming, I think, fastest growing of 2020, I think it was, as far as subs went. Best debut game, so as in brand new. It was Carrion, Mortal Shell, Raji, Roki, and the one that won it was Phasmophobia. I mean, that's been a thing, so I'm not surprised. Yeah. I fucking think this next title is hilarious. Best esports athlete. If that isn't a slap in the face to every athlete on face of the earth, like, don't get me wrong, I think that gaming should be recognized as a competitive sport, but don't call yourself an athlete. I mean, shit, I could call myself an esports endurance athlete at this point while eating a bucket of KFC. That's fucking stupid. Anyway, it was a league guy that took it out. Do you know Hio Showmaker Sue, Hebrew?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a really good fucking player.
Well, apparently the best, as far as he's concerned. Best esports coach. What the fuck are we doing esports coaches for now? Oh my god! Like, don't get me wrong.
You don't know that?
No.
Oh, that is absolutely a thing. That is a huge thing, actually, especially in League of Legends.
What does he do? What does he say to these people? He designs the strats?
Yeah, basically. So
well, like, sits down between game 1 and game 2 at the international. It's like, all right, boys, these are the mistakes that you made. Here's the play. You're gonna go left. You're gonna go right. You're gonna go down the middle. And I swear to God, if you don't pull this off, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you like a 9-year-old kid at a baseball game.
That's that too, but also like during the game, like he's in there commentating to them and like devising strategies with them.
Jesus.
So like he's there. It's a super intense thing for them. Like if you ever, like, I'm sure you won't, but if you ever manage to, like, you know, go to YouTube and want to listen to something funny, go to the Korean teams where you actually hear their microphones and their team talk during a esports match on League of Legends. My God.
Really?
It is fucking insane, dude. Yes, 100%.
Talking about how,
so if you're looking for a laugh, go there.
Don't win, the great dictator will murder all of you.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, that's their lives are a different career.
That's why it's intense.
I'll tell you the best way to not get laid, though, is when you go out on a date and she says, "What do you do?" and you say, "I am the coach of an esports team." It's not going to get you anywhere.
Actually, you would be fucking wrong as hell.
What?
Is that worse than best esports athlete?
A coach has groupies.
Bro, you have no... I mean, they're all Asian, but they're there. 100%.
Oh,
and they are... Let me tell you
God.
what, dude. They're smoking. They're fucking smoking.
The coach is knee-deep in pussy. Or dick. Whatever his preference is.
Dude, you should see the streamers of like League of Legends. Their fucking girlfriends are.
Oh no,
insane
of course, because those guys are just made of money now. That's a different thing. I'm talking about the
So
coach.
are coaches.
What?
So are coaches. Well, not, they make shit tons.
I
of
think
money.
a successful esports coach could probably be raking in the dough.
Oh, they 100 bring in or 100% bring in shit tons of money because they also stream and make shit tons of money because their notoriety.
All right, so I'd like to take the opportunity to resign from this podcast and announce my new career as a esports coach, because apparently I fucking misunderstood this whole section of our industry. These whole next categories, I don't even give a shit about. I'm not even going to read them. It's all esports games, esports host, esports teams. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all about... I'm fully for, like, bringing in the ESPN channel of video games. Like, I want to know, I can tune into the International for Dota 2 or League of Legends or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. Calling them athletes and whatnot. And they all burn out in their 20s.
Have you ever watched an esports, like, League of Legends, like, Worlds for League of Legends?
I have, but I spend most of my time on the commentators because... There are moments in video games that there's a lull, and obviously there's the color guy's job of like making that entertaining in between. And the color guys in esports are quite often hilariously cheesy's the wrong word. What am I looking for here? Over enthusiastic about things that it's hard to get excited about. Let's put it that way.
I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I can't think. Usually they're all just like commentating. Like if something's not going on, they're commentating on the match overall. Like it's not like a weird enthusiasm thing.
But those people, I mean, there's nothing groundbreaking about that. Like, I don't know. There's something weird about it. I guess I'm probably stuck in the past a little bit on this particular part of that. I still think the concept is hilarious. I think that pro gaming as a career is wonderful, and people can make money playing video games as a streamer or competitively is awesome. But like the fact that like, people are now so hyped up like they're LeBron James of Among Us is fascinating to me.
So as at an old job I had, we hosted a tournament that we did within the office, and we broadcasted it. And I actually was one of the hosts, and it is not easy.
Yeah.
You have to have such an in-depth knowledge of the game, the tactics, the abilities, the skills, all that stuff, right? And you need to be able to just fire them out.
Let me overswing my very underwhelming dick here. I reckon I could do it. I really do. No, 100%. I think I could do it.
I think
for which game?
Played, it depends on the game and
wouldn't
how
matter. You tell me what the game is, I will learn it the way that I would have to. Like you make it so it's like muscle memory. It's like remember Marvel Strike Force? There was like hundreds of abilities we had to know and pull at any point on the podcast or the videos, and we could do it because you were in it every day. If you paid me money to know a video game, I would know it day two. Because salespeople have to do that. You have to know every possible pro, con, what's great about your product, everyone else's. Let's not turn this about to why I'm an amazing human being, because that's not going to be a very short podcast. But I honestly think that I could do it.
I'm not saying you couldn't. I'm not. In fact, I think that you absolutely could.
Yeah,
just like I think like many people absolutely.
I'd get cancelled week one. Don't get me wrong, because you put me in a format.
100%.
But I could, know for sure. In theory, do it.
But you could. I definitely think that, and I think that in this weird Twilight world that we're in, like I definitely think that you'd be incredibly good at it as well. But like I'm just saying, like it takes a lot of raw time of getting to know the character, because not only do you have to know all the characters, you have to know all the strats, you have to know all the matchups. Like all that kind of stuff. So
I could be the Joe Rogan commentator of this sphere. Do you know what I mean? I can be like that sort of meathead fuckwit of a bloke that just knows everything about it so well that, and bit of color here and there. Yeah, let's do it.
If you
let's
want
make it
to
happen.
drive
quite a bit of money.
If my name is not on this list next year, I'm gonna be fucking furious.
If you want to drive people to the podcast, just become an esports host. You can always.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. Whenever you sign off after every game, just be like,
I'll start commentating on people's Among Us games or something super douchey. What's a game that should definitely not have commentary? And I'll make that my thing.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Oh god.
One of those new hentai style games. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the.
What's that?
'cause it's
Oh, he's
one of
going
the
in for
games
the
that just
pussy.
never-
No, it's the ass. He's going for the ass.
I think commentating on if you could actually make it exciting to watch Animal Crossing
Yeah.
as a commentator, you win.
No, I think Animal Crossing, you play it like golf. And he's picked up the cupboard. He's moving it to the back of the room. Oh, and he's placed it very well.
I think you have to either like thicken up the Aussie accent or come Kiwi with it.
Yeah.
That
And
is
then-
true. A lot of my
Yeah.
fellow Aussies do this and become famous. Aussie Man is probably the most
Yes.
hamming it up Aussie. Even in real life, I'm sure he gets off that microphone and just goes, "Bro, that was a bloody good show." That, you know, he's no one is that Australian, you know. But you got to come out with a lot of like Australianisms as well, because you guys find it hilarious when none of us really talk like that, you know.
Yeah, in my book,
Funny.
you guys all talk like that.
Struth. All right, let's get into
Struth. Oh my
the big
God.
announcements. Or Grouse. Take your pick.
Oh,
All right, you ready? Let's do this. So, Game
Yes.
of the Year Awards is not just about, obviously, giving everyone a round of applause and a circle jerk over how well they did, but it's also announcing a lot of the big things that are coming up in the next year. And normally there's like 2 or 3 things that come out of this, but good God, there was so many this year of new games or teaser announcements, kind of like the Disney thing. A lot of it was like no information really, but enough to really make you erect for a solid hour and a half. Like, it was really good. So we only talked about Perfect Dark, I swear, maybe 2 episodes ago. I don't know why, but we did. I thought it belonged to Rare, but it looks like a studio that's been created full of a lot of old veterans seems to have picked up the license. And they're going to make a Perfect Dark reboot, which we saw a teaser trailer for, setting up the world. World's been ravaged by an ecological disaster. Corporations have stepped in and they're kind of, quote-unquote, saving the planet. But Joanna Dark thinks there's something a bit off about it. And then there we are. And they're calling it an eco-thriller. Did you see the lead-up to the trailer, other than the one I just sent you? Like, listening to the devs talk about it? They kind of want it to be
eco-thriller, huh?
like it's all about the ecological disaster. Like, they really want that to be the centerpiece of, like, the world is kind of at stake, literally. Like, the environment is what's at stake here. It's a very interesting premise to start there and then move out through, oh yeah, and she's like a spy with like a silencer and shit. You know what I mean?
well, I mean, I can't blame her for being super suspicious that corporations are just trying to fix the world.
I feel like this is. I mean, I feel like this is a direct parallel to reality right now.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
definitely a commentary on, the world, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, trailer looks slick, but I mean,
Sorry, I was gonna say I never I played like a tiny bit of Perfect Dark before, but like I was never super into it. But I remember it was like a thing, so I guess it's good that it's back. I mean, you guys probably played it more than me.
it was never an
Nope.
incredible game. It got way more hype than it ever deserved, to be honest. Like, it was a great, I mean, because it was basically, it was out, like, it was GoldenEye, then there was this around the same time.
Yes.
It was fine, but I wouldn't say that it.
Well-
It didn't have like the multiplayer where you could like scope through walls and shit with the X-ray scope. I think that's why it kind of.
I think, well, it was supposed to be like Rare's next game after GoldenEye. So it was like, oh, wow, Rare did GoldenEye, so Perfect Dark's going to be amazing. And it wasn't.
Yeah, it was not.
Yeah, I only played the hell out of GoldenEye. I didn't play
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it was
'Cause there were
certainly
no
wasn't as
slappers,
hooky.
no-
It's been a great concept, and like what you could do with that story's been there for a long time. But setting it this way, I don't know. I mean, the trailer looks great. I think this year's Game of the Year awards, well, actually, year in general, has shown us that even the worst game now can put out a just unbelievable cinematic quality trailer that makes you go, "I'm going to play this."
Yeah.
And then you get it, and it looks nothing like what it actually is. So that's where Perfect Dark is in the moment. We have no idea what the game looks like, other than just a really, really well animated trailer. One thing we definitely do know how it looks like it's going to play, because we saw some gameplay trailer, is Back 4 Blood. It's going to be a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. This looks good to me. I'm kind of glad this is coming back.
Oh yeah, dude. I think that this is what we need right now. This sounds like so much fun right now, dude. With Among Us coming out, I mean, and like making a big splash and everything, and Fall Guys, like just like big group gaming with a goal sounds like a lot of fun.
I've got some good news
nothing
for you.
as
half of the games on this list are that game. Like they are all like 4 to 6 player co-op games. Like every single one of them is almost in that category.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. Like I am glad to see that, because it honestly looks really fucking good, and I think all of us, like, I mean, playing Left 4 Dead right now, like, just sounds like so much goddamn fun, dude. So I'm for it.
Yeah, definitely playing a game like that where it's that cooperative, suspenseful, objective based, and also like, you know, you have short stints. You can just jump in, play for a minute, and jump out. That's the big thing.
Yeah, that's
not
the big
a lot of time
difference
investment
for me too. Yeah.
Now, here's a question for you. What if you took that same game and you painted it with Evil Dead skins? As in a 4-player co-op set in the universe of Evil Dead, where one of you can play as Ash and everyone else is just like, fuck's sake, I didn't get Ash again. There's going to be a thing. In 2021, there is a 4-player co-op horror game which is set in the Evil Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm down for that one as well.
Boomsticks all around. I'm keen.
Yeah.
As long as there's a character who's just screams, "We'll swallow your soul, we'll swallow your soul, we'll swallow your soul," because you know that's what they're going to do. Somebody's
that thing is getting shot.
That's a
first.
good point.
Yeah.
No, I'm down for that for sure.
Yeah, let me stick with these games. So let me go through the other ones that are like that as well. So in 4-player co-ops, we have the footage out for Warhammer Darktide. Did you guys watch that trailer I sent you?
Yeah, I have never been a huge fan of that franchise though. So like, it just, I'm just like meh on it.
It's a 4. It basically is like Left 4 Dead / Back 4 Blood in the Warhammer universe. Like, and in the 40k, I should say too. It's Warhammer 40k Darktide.
Oh,
so they've done Vermintide already. This is basically just like Space Marines in that sphere. So, you know, it looks bloody, it looks brutal, it looks dark as well, which I think is something they've missed a little bit from some of the previous Warhammer games. But I really like it. I think this is going to be a heck of a lot of fun, because Vermintide 1 and 2 were kind of like hidden gems. They were ridiculously fun with pretty decent gameplay, but kind of like Hebrew, because they've released so many shit games with Warhammer in the title, people to see it now and go, God, who's making this one? You know?
Yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I see so many Warhammer games come and go, and I just like don't care to play it. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. So there's that one. And then another 4-player co-op is a game called Hood, Outlaws and Legends. The best way I can describe it is a sort of medieval fantasy style game that looks like an Assassin's Creed style of combat. And I mean old school Assassin's Creed, not the new ones. Yeah. Multiplayer heist game. Like
I thought the gameplay. Castle. Yeah, I thought the gameplay for this actually looked really fucking cool.
It's too many buzzwords.
I was impressed. Yeah, I'm fucking down for it. Like this one actually was. I thought that I was immediately going to be turned off to it. Oh my god, great, another Assassin's Creed copycat. But no, this one looks fucking legit. And as you said, it looks like it's more old school Assassin's Creed, which I'm down for. So.
Yeah. This next one, this guy made a claim before this expo. Basically said that he's currently working on like the greatest next like horror game, right? Now, the last time this guy said that, he made a game called Dead Space, which is a wonderful game that when that studio got folded and they discontinued the series, everyone went, well, that's a real loss. Even though that series did kind of go a little bit downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a great game.
I think 3 was the last one they made, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
3 was meh.
A few other people from that studio have reformed, and they are making a new game called the Callisto Protocol. Now, we saw the trailer for this that generally looks terrifying as fuck.
Yeah, this looks... I mean, I like really scary games, so this looks really fucking cool.
Yeah.
It definitely, like, even if you didn't know that it was like related to Dead Space, it gave me instant Dead Space vibes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about it.
See, I'm gonna correct you to one thing. You guys watched the trailer because you put anything with horror, I'm out.
Oh, is that right?
Really? No, I am not a fan of scary games.
Even when I was looking
Scary
at it, I was just
movies.
like, oh, this is gonna be messed up. This game.
Yeah. But I remember seeing Dead Space, earlier on in development or whatever, and the second I saw it, I was like, this game's amazing. Mostly because like they were innovative with the HUD and the UX in general. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping for more similar, like innovative kind of things to add to the immersion. Mm-hmm. So I think, I like to see successful teams and creators do really well, especially after they get screwed over by EA.
I think one of the coolest things about Dead Space was, now that you brought it up, was the dismemberment. I think that they were the first ones to really lean in on that. Like, because you remember the slicer? That was like the signature weapon.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking game with slicing and getting off limbs and shit was fucking cool.
I feel like slicing off limbs is pretty old school.
Like to that degree.
It was definitely graphic for its time. No one's denying that.
Because that was what PlayStation. I mean, sorry, not PlayStation. I played on Xbox.
It
was Xbox 360, PS3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
For the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe not then. Yeah, that sounds too old. That sounds like too recent for dismemberment. But I mean, like at least like really well done dismemberment in the way that they'll still keep going even if you dismember them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you ever play Gone Home or Tacoma?
No.
Okay. What about you, Hebrew?
Nope.
Okay. Tacoma I did play. It was a really cool kind of like space detective-y type game with a lot of twists and turns where you basically go onto like a derelict spaceship and it's empty. And your whole job is basically to figure out what happened to the crew using like AI playbacks of what happened to them, basically. It's a really well done game. So those guys have teamed up with Sony, and they're making a game called Open Roads, which has a really interesting kind of aesthetic to it. It's not quite cartoon. It's, I don't know, it's kind of like they've cartoonicized it, but it is not hand-painted, but it's in that vibe. Do you know what I mean? What did you get from the trailer?
Like a Scanner Darkly?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more of like how do I describe it? This is tough to describe.
I know what words you were reaching for.
What?
I'm not gonna say it.
Well,
I've said too many things to be cancelled this year already.
It's definitely like an interesting artistic styling that they put on it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's up my alley for games.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting kind of a what is it, Heavy Rain or?
I think you're right in the sense that like it's going to have some things like that, but it's going to be a lot slower than Heavy Rain, and I think that's.
Oh God! Then I'm
yeah. Well, there was one game that did this really, really well of that style, which was did you guys play? I think it was called What Happened to Edith Finch.
I did not.
No, but
if you're going to play one of these games, please play that one. That game was truly wonderful and like insanely depressing if you really went through.
Well, I can't wait.
No, but in a way that like it does make you feel things, and anytime that happens in a game, like if you play through that whole game and go, I felt nothing, I'm probably gonna like get you on a watch list.
You're a sociopath.
Yeah. For sure.
Fair enough.
Dragon Age 4. Once upon a time, I would have said that with massive excitement. That was barely a teaser, trailer, anything. That was a waste of time, if you ask me.
Yeah.
What? No, I thought you found out. It was definitely a teaser to me. Yeah.
Like what?
I mean, because it didn't give away. It gave more away of what the environment is now, rather than like what the story is. I actually thought it gave away quite a bit, considering how like little people put forward in teasers nowadays. So, but yeah,
Well,
I thought the environment that we're now going to be playing around in is pretty interesting. It's like, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What do they get? What did you pick up from this that I didn't?
Well, the environment is like a weird kind of like magic city, like almost kind of like, it looks almost kind of like how should I say, like, I don't want to say cyberpunky, but it looks like this kind of weird. Shit, what's that movie called? Here we go.
I reckon that artwork set you a little bit astray because they went into a city like that in Dragon Age 2. In fact, I think most of the end of the story kind of played out there.
I don't remember that city in Dragon Age 2. We're talking about like the one with all of the, like, you know, the lights at night, right?
Oh,
yeah,
in the trailer.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looked a bit different, but I don't think those cities are unique. I don't know. I didn't take much away from it. For me, it was just like, BioWare needs to make people excited to play one of their games this year. And I don't think that's the trailer you put forward when you want that to be the thing.
I think it was okay for a teaser, but I think that because they're not continuing off of directly continuing off of a storyline, so there's not like a shit ton to throw back to for a big like reveal. But I think that it was a good teaser for teasing like what you're going to be playing in. It was definitely like an environment situation. So yeah, I liked whenever they showed off that city at night. I was like, fuck, this looks cool as shit. So yeah.
I don't know. I see that and I see we're very, 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 very early alpha when I see that kind of like concept art as the trailer.
Are we even alpha at that point?
That maybe not even. We're at concept. Where it's like, yeah, there'll be a Dragon Age 4, maybe.
I mean,
it was a concept art. I mean, there was it was like cinematics set in it. So
yeah. What did you think? Because I know that you are a massive fan of Dragon Age and Mass Effect. What did you think of the Mass Effect trailer or tease?
Ironically, I really liked it. But I wish it would have went on. Like, I wish I would have gotten more from it.
Right,
for
but
Mass Effect.
Yeah, at least it made you feel
that
that
it did its job. It did its job. I think it was better objectively than Dragon Age 4, just because there's so much more nostalgia put in place there.
Agreed.
For Mass Effect than there is Dragon Age, especially since it's a continuation off of a storyline that was already put in place, rather than what looks like with Dragon Age like a entirely new story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pumped for Mass Effect. What did you get out of it?
Look, I'm of two minds. I really like the idea of investigating like the opened up universe of Mass Effect where there's the whispers and the echoes of what happened with the Shepard events. I like the idea of Andromeda. I think what I'm nervous about is that BioWare may have taken the wrong lesson away in that they're saying, well, we didn't have Shepard and friends, that's why Andromeda failed, which is not the case.
That was not
the game was soulless. And I think that just bringing the right characters back and making it center around, mourning and embracing the possible legacy of Shepard, which I think what's going to happen in this game, now that I've seen that trailer, it's going to be about them dealing with Shepard being gone, and he was the thing holding that whole crew together and that whole network of characters, and he's gone. And then, like, the massive structure of, the galactic agreements that kind of held everyone together, theoretically, that's all been smashed, depending on which of the endings of Mass Effect 3 they're choosing as canon. I'm assuming it's the third one, the one they created later, where, everyone gets to live. So I think it's going to be more about like a galactic civil war type storyline, I think.
I think so too, yeah.
Which is way less kind of, grand potentially in concept, but potentially interesting as well, because you could have different factions to be a part of. So I don't know. I hope that they're not just leaning on this crutch of the old cast as a way of, well, if, the right characters are in there, people will play this game. I really hope they go back and really understand why people love the Mass Effect games. The characters were a massive part about it, but it was the narrative that leaned in very well with the gameplay. that made you want to go to the next world and do that stupid scanning crap in between that stuff, right? So yeah, I love the idea of it, but I guess I would have preferred if they sort of stuck to their guns and like just made Andromeda 2 the right way, rather than leaning on the crutch that is Shepard when they said they were going to walk away from it. So yeah, because the fact that they went looking for that armor, like part of me is worried they're going to try and like go on a mission because they've heard some mystical story that they can bring Shepard back from the dead.
Oh God, I really hope that that's not the case.
Yeah,
don't even say that. I don't want to hear that.
If they had like there was some kind of like the Reapers had like re-imbued their energy somehow, and like the final Reaper had taken the form of Commander Shepard, that'd be kind of cool. But I don't know. There's potential. Let's put it that way. I was way more excited about that than I was by the Dragon Age 4 quote unquote trailer.
Well, there's more emotion in Mass Effect for sure. I think we all carry a lot of like feelings for Mass Effect.
Speaking of games that I still definitely feel massive OG Mass Effect vibes from, we got more Outriders gameplay from the Game of the Year awards. Getting more excited for that game.
Same. Every single time I see more of it, I like it more. So that's I feel like every game that's went on that trend ends up paying off pretty well. Because usually games that don't have it in them, they front load hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they just try to maintain from there. But this is the opposite. I'm getting more and more hyped every single time.
Yeah.
So,
did you take away from that, Hooch?
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about it, and it looks like it's good. I don't know about some of the things. Like, I've never been the kind of like I'm super aggressive in my combat, and I'm just running in. I'm more like methodical and like planning, so I don't know how well that'll fit with like my play style, but it's interesting.
Yeah, just call it Doom Effect. It's like Mass Effect meets Doom.
Yeah,
because that's what it says in there. It says you actively have to fight shit and kill it to heal. Like there's no heal packs. You only get to stay alive by murdering other things. I mean, that fast-paced hecticness and tension that you get with Doom is one of the reasons why that game has been such a great reimagining of that series. Like, it feels intense when you play that game. So, yeah, I could see that blending through with the extra powers and stuff, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I said, like we'll see when it comes out what the actual gameplay looks like, and whether or not I think it'll mesh with how I like to play those types of games. But I'm definitely curious about it, and I'll keep tabs on it, see what happens when it comes out.
When's its slated release?
I think it was like Q2 next year. I think sort of more towards the middle of the year. I don't know. It's changed so many times now.
And it is an exclusive, so
it is. Yeah, PS5.
Yeah.
Or PS5. Yeah. I think it is still releasing on PS4, but yeah.
Oh God, I really hope that's not the case.
All right. So there's two games that I saw here that I looked at the art style and went, wow. I fully expect to see this on like the art direction rewards for next year at a minimum. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of games coming out next year, but one of them was Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch. This is a Metroidvania style that has a very like English steampunk kind of aesthetic to it. It's a little bit darker. Your main character is a rabbit with like a massive power fist. I know it's not going to sound too appealing in the way I'm describing it, but watch the trailer for Fist Forged in Shadow Torch. It's, I don't know, there was something about it I was like, I don't think I'm going to play this, but it looks cool.
I'm 100% with you on it. It was the first time whenever I looked at like a kind of side-scroller game in a long time and said, damn, like that actually looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I legitimately might play it because it looks like, I don't know, it's like an old schooly take, or I'm sorry, it's a very modern take on a kind of old schooly play style. So, I think I think I'll have to give it a shot. As far as the art style is concerned, yes, it looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, there's something so different about it. Well, as you say, like hitting those familiar, like old school Donkey Kong Country style gameplay, but a little bit more Fast and Furious, like, a lot more of the more modern Metroidvania clones that come out. But in the same year,
guess the second. Oh, sorry, I thought you were gonna go off after that. Continue.
I was going to say, look, Abe's Odyssey was, I thought, going to be the only game that tried to do this year. And we saw some footage from that as well, which certainly looks good. Mm-hmm. But, I was really taken away by that art style to the point where I thought I was going to give Abe's Odyssey a go as like a platformer to see if I still like that kind of game all these years down the track with a modern reimagining. Mm-hmm. But I think if I was going to pick one based on those two trailers, I'd probably pick this new IP rather than Abe's Odyssey, which I played many times back in the day.
Yeah, same. I'm of the same mind as that. I was gonna say, can I guess the other one as far as the art style is concerned?
Yeah.
It Takes Two.
Yeah. This game looks cool as fuck, man.
Honestly, it looks fucking amazing, and the narrative is so weird but looks funny because of it. Like, I am seriously hyped about this game now.
I know.
Fucking cool as shit, dude.
Well, this guy's kind of like the European Hideo Kojima. Like, he's such a weird dude, but he has these like big grand ideas. His last game was pretty cool, but I love the way that this game looks like a bit of everything. And he kind of said that in the lead up chat as well, because he was doing mocap. Like, he did the video of, you've caught me halfway through filming, and it's just like, no, I said, He kind of said he wants it to be this mashup of so many different genres of games in one game with a central narrative that actually means something. And I think from that trailer, you can see it. Like, you can see what he's trying to do. And I think I'm going to pick this up and probably be a game that, ironically, given the tone of it, I'll probably get my wife to play with me on the couch.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. I'm like, me and my girlfriend are going to play the hell out of this game.
I was going to say, is this game used by counselors everywhere?
Yeah, right?
With relationship issues.
Well, it looks like if you took like a Mario Party style game and like just specced up the art style and the graphics and went weird and wonderful and threw a narrative on it, that's kind of what this is. I think there'll be a multiplayer spin-off of this where it's all like party games, because it's kind of what it looks like.
I would like it. This is honestly one of the most unique art styles that I've seen in a very long time. Yeah. It's almost kind of it's very reminiscent of, what is it, Sackboy or whatever. Like,
I know what you're
saying.
A lot
of those vibes.
Yeah, kind of not really. I think it's
kind of not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's just I guess it's just hard to describe. It's very unique. Like.
Yeah, watch the trailer if you're listening. Check it out. It's It Takes Two is what it's called. Just look up Game of the Year awards. It Takes Two. It looks awesome. It really does.
Yeah. Very impressive. I bet this is only coming out, I hope at least. Is this only coming out on PS5?
No, I think it's multi-platform, this one.
I guess, is it going to be previous gen as well, is my real question.
I don't know. A lot of these, I literally... Do you have any idea how much news came out this week and Cyberpunk, and I still have to fucking plan and edit this?
Totally
Jesus Christ,
fair.
Son.
Totally fair. But yeah, I hope that it's only on new gen, not old gen.
Now, this one is for the old boys on the podcast. Ghosts and Goblins. Hooch.
Idea.
Did you ever play like the OG Ghouls and Goblins, Ghosts and Goblins games? Like fucking
hell yes.
Forever ago? Same, dude.
Dumped a bunch of quarters in that thing.
Did you watch this Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection for the Switch trailer?
I haven't seen that yet for the Twitch, for the trailer for the Switch. But if it's Ghosts and Goblins and it's on the Switch, I will probably check it out.
So when I watched it, first of all, I heard the music and I was like, oh my God, time teleport straight back to then. Like, they've done like a slight reimagination on that theme song. I'm like, holy shit. I didn't know in the back of my brain I knew what Ghosts and Goblins sounded like, but apparently I knew. Because I heard that and I was like, oh shit, this is that game rebooted. And then what they've done is, like, even the jumping animations, the jank nature of it. Remember how dumb he used to look when he was jumping? It was like he was freeze framing at the end of an 80s movie as he jumped. They've kept that, which I love. But they've done, like, again, kind of like I want to say it's almost like a South Park-esque style of animation, but specced up a bit. Like, it kind of looks cardboardy, but artistically drawn, if that makes sense, in some of the enemies. Yeah.
Okay. Like, hold on, what's the thing I'm looking at? Like a Monty Python kind of thing?
Oh, not that
like
janky.
Okay.
Yeah, you're in the right idea, though. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to go play it. But I think it's a cool idea to reimagine that game, which is just a classic of the OG generation. Like, that was, like, Master System era, that game.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how much it costs.
Oh, it's Nintendo, so, I mean, it's probably like $90. It'll be overpriced. It's what they do.
Did you say $90?
Yeah, that's what they do. They fucking overcharge for games that they've remade from 30 years ago, and they go exclusive.
I feel like
to
it's
Switch.
going to be $10. I feel like it's going to be $10 or something.
It's what it should be. I will say it won't be less than 30. No way. It's what they do.
I will take a gentleman's bet on this one because
it should be under that price, but this is Nintendo. This is what they do.
Yeah, I'd say 30.
Well, we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 might be nice. That'd be a good price point.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 20, we all win. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Road 96. What was your guys' takeaway from the Road 96 trailer?
I thought it was okay. Like, I wasn't super impressed by it or anything. But I think that it's because it's not my style of game. Anything that revolves like mostly around like a car is not something that I'm interested in.
Here's the thing. It's a procedurally generated game. So No Man's Sky, when you load up the game for the first time, it takes a lot of random parameters and boom, it picks them, right? So it has a framework it could work with of possible planets and possible enemies and possible this, possible that, and then it spawns it, right? So everyone's playthrough is going to be slightly different. That's what this is that basically this Road 96 is that you are trying to go from, as a hitchhiker, one part of a country, let's say it's America, I don't know, to a different part of the country. And when you first log in, it is going to go through a massive slew of possible things that you could encounter on that road, which means that your road trip is going to be different to my road trip.
Right. But chances are we'll find similar elements throughout it.
Oh, of course. Yeah, but the fact that it's got like, you have to sort of get a vibe of the person to like, oh, is this person a serial killer? Should I get in this car? Should I not? Like, there's some cool things about this. And again, the art style was just so different. There was something really unique about the way that animated the road, the way it was moving. It kind of reminded me a little bit more of, if you didn't go for that Borderlands style of animation, the opening to Borderlands 2. Remember when they're on the road there? It kind of reminds me a little bit of that, but with way less violence.
It looked a little bit to me kind of like Team Fortress 2.
Kind of, yeah, with that style of animation, yeah. But there was something about the environment itself that it looked specced up but specced down at the same time. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like you're seeing that trend a lot where the
old school style
art
modernized.
Yes, old school style art, but modern physics and animations.
Yeah. Yeah. I got good vibes out of that one. I think it's going to be a little bit like, what was that game? Outer Wilds. Did you guys play that?
I played it for a little bit, yeah.
Okay, you're not Outer Worlds, Outer Wilds, the time one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, wait. I was thinking Outer Worlds.
Yeah, they both came out at the same time, just to be fucking less confusing. Outer Wilds, you should definitely play. It's a weird kind of like... It's a time loop game, but it reminds me a lot of what they're sort of going for here. Yeah. Then we have The Returnal.
Not to be confused with Wilds.
Yeah, so Outer Worlds is the one that was done by the people that did the old Fallout games.
No. I mean, not to be confused with Wilds, the new game, right?
That's completely different altogether, yeah. Then we have something. The Returnal. The PS5 exclusive, which is you are trapped in a time loop. It is a roguelike shooter, third-person angle that kind of looks like a shooter-based sci-fi Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I actually thought it looked really fucking cool. I think it looks very fast-paced. I'm not sure if I like the premise as like another time loop, especially since we have so many time loopy games coming out.
And none of them are Edge of Tomorrow. Where the fuck is that game?
There you go.
I'd play that.
I don't know. I don't know what Edge of Tomorrow is, but
the Tom Cruise movie. You've watched it. The time loop one with him and Emily Blunt. The one that you said you actually liked.
Is that the one with he's got the? Oh, that one came out like 8 years ago or so.
Yeah, and he keeps dying.
No,
all the time.
what was it?
Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
Damn, was that 8 years ago?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, yeah. I have seen that one. I always get that one and the one where they have like Elysium or no, not Elysium.
Oh, Elysium. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Tom Cruise was in this one as well.
Nah, that was Matt Damon.
I always get
Elysium,
those
I
two
think.
confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're wearing the armor. That's why. Because they both have that exosuit kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, so it looks really cool. The gameplay looks really fast paced and interesting. But yeah, the premise, I'm not super sold on yet. We don't know a lot about it. Just that she's like reliving, I guess, the same day or something like that, and whenever she dies. But yeah,
and the environment
looks
supposedly
interesting, fast-paced and cool.
changes the more she dies too. Like it's one of those games that supposedly, as she evolves and changes, so does the environment around her. So you're in the same time loop, but doing it differently each time actually creates differences to the environment. It's an ambitious claim. I'm sure it's not as widespread as it sounds. I'm sure it's just like chapter 2, everything's a desert now. You know what I mean? There's one of those things. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. What do you think of the gameplay though?
It looks great. I mean, as I said, it looks to me, it looks very Devil May Cry meets, what's a good game to compare it to? Not Gears of War, because it's not a cover shooter. I don't really know what game I'm reaching for here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's got the very sort of color flashes and little like energy orbs flying off of enemies that it's very Devil May Cry. Not Dynasty Warriors, I can't think of the game. God of War, like old school maybe, like with the orbs and shit flying everywhere. Kind of Godfall-ish, actually, as a matter of fact, but with guns. Monster Hunter Rise is coming to the Switch. It looks very much like another Monster Hunter handheld game. Nothing like the scope or sexiness of the Monster Hunter World, which we're seeing on consoles. That game, if they release a PS5 like spec'd up version, god damn, that game's gonna look good.
Yeah, I'll play it if they do that.
I played Monster Hunter World on the PS4 version on my PS5, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, you were saying that last week.
So good.
I almost downloaded it and then remembered the backlog / upcoming games. I went, nah, I can wait.
Yeah. Well, Cyberpunk is taking and will be taking the vast majority of that space, I'm sure, for you for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Now, pivoting from that to the Fast and the Furious is Arc 2 had a trailer this week, which I didn't even know they were working on a sequel, because it seemed like just a game that they were continuously working on. Arc, for those who are unfamiliar, is a survival-style game, as in you get dropped onto a planet. You have nothing. You have to find food or you die. You have to find water or you die. You have to stay out of the sun or you die. Just one of those kind of games that basically everything's going to kill you. And then there's dinosaurs that will also kill you. And then when you get like enough weapons and stuff to stave off the dinosaurs, some dickhead who like farmed more than you is just going to kill you and take all your stuff. That's basically Arc in a summary. So apparently we need a second one of those. Yeah. So there's a very pretty trailer that had Vin Diesel for some reason being a caveman dude on there with a lot of Jurassic Park type vibes. And looks like
super weird pick.
Enemy trolled. Yeah, I don't know. So, but he was protecting his family, you know. So there was that in there. Yeah. That's his thing. He's protecting his prehistoric family now. So, Arc 2 will be a thing. I'm gonna hold off judgment until I see gameplay, because a lot of the original ambitions of Arc, with the way that they were saying that game was gonna look, and the way it performed, really didn't happen for most of the life cycle of that game, and I don't think really ever fully achieved its promise. And maybe Arc 2 is that. I don't know. Elder Scrolls is getting an expansion, and it is going back to the Gates of Oblivion. So I think fans of that series will probably dig that. As far as what it entails, I don't know, but that is a hell of a big dude that emerges out of Oblivion in the trailer. Which I can't remember the lore of Elder Scrolls as far as like the devil goes, but if they have one, I think that's him.
I think I found him, guys.
Yeah, I certainly hope so.
That's it. They're gonna have another one of those. They've actually had like a pretty great run of the greatest hits of the Elder Scrolls coming through that series. Came out just in really bad shape, and they've worked on a lot to make a pretty decent ongoing MMO, to be honest. Yeah, so that'll be a thing that keeps people playing there, I'm sure. And relatively cheap sub service too. Like you can play it for free, but like the basic sub per month gets you so much for bang for buck. It's pretty great. Evil West. Did you guys see this trailer?
Yes, I did actually.
Dude,
You especially must be pumped,
over-the-top.
bro. It's basically
am
Van
very
Helsing in the
excited.
Wild West.
Yep, that is exactly what I thought of whenever I was watching it. This looks fucking cool, dude. I'm actually really glad that we're seeing something like this because this, once again, it's multiplayer, so that's good. And dude, killing fucking zombies in an Old West style game, yes please, I will take that any fucking day of the week. This looks sick as hell, dude. Hooch, did you watch this one?
Yeah,
right.
that was like super over the top, just running through, killing monsters everywhere. The one where he has the thing that like the fist kind of like just collapses in front of his hand as he's punching down. It's like, that's wow, like all the gadgets and stuff that he's gonna get is gonna be insane.
Well, it went from like Wolverine claws to that hammer fist. Like when he sort of as he's punching it went. I was like, okay, this is pretty rad.
Yeah, like whoa, okay. So and then the end of it was he had that the big old electricity. So it's kind of like, what does he have powers? Because at first it looks like he's just a badass. Now it's like okay, now there's some powers that he has at some point.
Yeah, I think it's tech related powers. I think it's all tech power. I don't know. You can't tell 100% from the trailer, but like I'm pretty sure it's coming from something on that big ass arm band thing he's got with.
Remember all the stuff that was in Wild Wild West, like the electricity type Tesla style steampunky powers. It's like what if that didn't suck? I think that's kind of the
Yeah, I think that's definitely what's going on. It looks fucking. I can't wait to play this game with some friends, dude. This looks awesome.
Look, I mean, I hope that the gameplay actually has something like this in it. At the moment, it's only a cinematic trailer, so it's a great idea, but they got to pull it off and show us what this game is first. We're assuming FPS, maybe it's third person. I kind of prefer the third person perspective for a game like this.
Same.
Yes.
Same. Yeah. I'm gonna have. Besides, I would like it to be. I'm already gonna kind of have like this monster party game with. Was it Back for Blood anyways? So I'd like it to be switched up and not be first person for that. So yeah.
Truth. And it is indeed, as you say, you can either play it solo or as a co-op action game as well. So it is in that sphere. Like I said, like 5 of these games mentioned above are 4 to 5 player co-op action games.
Yeah.
So. Awesome. Scarlet Nexus looked very much an art style like you would be into, Hebrew.
Scarlet Nexus, I have to remember which one this one is.
It's the super anime-ish looking one.
Oh, yeah, the anime looking one. Yeah, it's from Bandai, right?
Yeah.
This one's from Bandai. Looks super anime. I'm actually, like, typically, like, there's so many of these anime games, and a lot of them are backed by Bandai. I don't know if it's going to be like necessarily good. This one looks pretty good because the actual in-game like whenever it comes to like combat and stuff like that looks pretty fun to play. But yeah, a lot of those unfortunately a lot of anime like games they just come out so fast and they're very like forgettable.
Yeah.
But this one might be something. So I'm going to keep my eyes on it, that's for sure.
They're really pushing the whole, I don't know if it's brother and sister or whatever the relationship is between the two, but it's like you have to play the story twice. Once through his perspective, once for hers. Yeah. Otherwise, you don't really get the whole experience, which is always a cool idea. But I don't know. There wasn't much about this that grabbed me. The art style did remind me of a game that I played a long time ago. Well, both of them, actually, 1 and 2. Did you guys ever play the Gravity Rush games?
I did not.
Never even heard of it.
Do me a favor. It'll be like $2 on like PlayStation Store or something, Hebrew. See if you can find it and play it.
Okay.
It's kind of this same style of animation. But the idea is the girl who is the main character, she can fly, but not really. The way she flies is that she inverts gravity, so she flies everywhere by falling, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
And then all of her powers are very gravity-based. So it's kind of this really weird, chaotic style of combat where you are flying, but it's because she's falling upside down.
Right.
Check it out. Like, honestly, I think it might be something you'd be into. I really enjoyed Gravity Rush 1 and 2. I really did.
I'm watching the gameplay of it right now. It
cool.
looks fucking weird, but
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Gravity Rush 1 is pretty good. Gravity Rush 2 was much better with the controls. The story was like just as good in both of them. But
they have Gravity Rush remastered. So
oh shit, do they? Okay.
Yeah. So like I'll probably pick up that one. Check
it out.
This looks play worthy, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that style was more suited to that kind of game. But in saying that, we got very little info about what the game actually is. It was more sort of a story trailer of a story. They didn't even tell us what that was either. It was very anime sort of things like, your father, you are the one destined to, like those fast cut trailers that you go, I have no idea what the show is about.
Yeah, they're really just mentioning like family members as they do quick shots of action. Brother, sister, mother, father.
Fast and the Furious 13. That's basically what you just described.
Anime.
Yeah. Arc 12. The family.
Oh, Jesus, no.
I am Groot.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, all of them. Shit, did we get through it? Oh, my
League of
God.
Legends.
Oh, I knew there was one left. League of Legends. What is this game? Because the combat looks like turn-based Marvel Strike Force mobile kind of play. Actually, it looks more like Stick of Truth combat, like Star from South Park. Do you remember that? With the way they've got it structured?
Oh, yeah.
And the menus down the bottom. And then you see these gameplay trailers, which are like 3D isometric, like Diablo style, where it's like the bits in between combat look like a Diablo exploratory game. And it's like, I don't know what this is other than League of Legends.
Well, if there's honestly one gaming company that I trust, it is Riot. And granted, this is made from Riot Forge, just for everyone to understand. So it's not like the IP is being used by a different company through Riot. Riot gave the approval to upcoming gamers that want to use their IP. And so if they signed off on it, I trust that they know what they're doing. But this game looks really cool. Like, it ties into the lore. They tied it into the lore itself, which is really cool within itself. Just because this is a really interesting area in the world of Runeterra. But as far as the gameplay is concerned, I think it looks great. Like, you can tell there's a lot of puzzle-based stuff just from the trailer that's going to be happening in the Diablo style. Like whenever you're out of combat. And that's definitely, why they have it in that style. So you can get like a full radius and, see everything around you to do like these puzzles, it looks like. Because I saw Yasuo like win puzzles. I saw, what's her name? Kraken girl. I forgot what her name is. Alawi. There we go.
Sure.
Alawi doing a couple puzzles as well. So pretty cool stuff there. And then, as you said, in the combat, like it has a very kind of Stick of Truth. Thank you for pointing out that I totally forgot that that's where that combat system is reminiscent of. So it looks pretty interesting as far as the like the timing bar and everything. But it looks really cool, honestly, and it's it really makes me want a full on like Diablo style League of Legends game, which we might get with one of their projects. I forgot what it's, Project X or something like that. But I'm pretty interested for it. It looks really good, and the fact that it's a PS exclusive makes it even more exciting for me because you boy got PlayStation. So
dude, you got both, man. What are you complaining about?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what exclusive it is.
That's why it's so great.
Except if it's a PC exclusive, then you're screwed.
How is he this cranky today, Hooch, when he's got all these fucking consoles in his house? Do you know what I mean?
Because he doesn't have the Xbox yet.
Well, I don't have the Xbox yet. I have to wait till Christmas.
He's got box withdrawal. I mean, we've all been there. All right, Halo. Basically a meme now with how many times that's been delayed. Everyone expected it to be delayed to probably about February, but no, all the way through to fall 2021. This is probably going to be a June title at best at this point. They had a massive blog post where they went through everything they've been working on. I think they were well aware that people have been shitting on them for how bad that last trailer looked, especially that giant monkey dude, whatever that was.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah, so they showed off some of the graphical overhaul work that they've been working on. They showed some pictures of the first multiplayer map. Because I didn't know this. Did you know that Halo multiplayer is being released as a separate free-to-play game?
No.
Neither did I.
But
so
that makes sense.
There'll be Halo Infinite
weird,
and then Halo Infinite multiplayer. So you do not have to buy that game. If you want to play the single-player campaign, you got to buy Halo Infinite. You just want to shoot dudes and throw plasma grenades at people, you can just play it for free. Like Overwatch style.
I feel like that's one of the smartest things to do. am surprised I haven't seen more of it, actually, because it makes sense. It's a little messy, but it makes sense because people that just want to fucking play with their friends will get into it through that, and then they'll have a more likely chance of buying the game as opposed to them just never taking part of it in the first place. So I think it's probably a smart move.
Yeah,
it's just
I think
gateway.
they just want to get people
onto
that game, and then I think they'll change things. But
that's what I mean. Yeah,
there will be cosmetics for purchase. You can achieve them through multiplayer. They have said that there will be microtransactions, but there will be no loot boxes and no randomization whatsoever in rewards. So
on downsies.
Good and bad news at the same time. So there is microtransactions, but at least it'll be the, see the super hentai tentacle outfit and just go $8. Yeah, I'll buy that.
Yeah. I don't have any problem with microtransactions that are like that. Like that's like League of Legends style monetization. Like I'm fucking down with it.
Truth.
Works for you, right?
Yeah. So I will admit, like the graphics that they showed it was only screenshots, so it's easy to show high density artwork with fidelity on a one shot rather than a gameplay. But I will say that the way it looks upscaled now versus what it was it 3 months ago? It does look incredible now compared to what it was. So
yeah,
I think they probably saw Cyberpunk's launch and went, yeah, we can wait.
Oops.
Yeah, because it just shows that sometimes you are better saying to the fans, look, just give us that year. We know you've waited one, but just honestly, it'll be worth it. So
yeah.
Yeah, make sure if you are a PC player to log on to the Epic Store from December the 15th and do so every day until the end of the month. They are doing the same promotion that it was last year, which is giving away 15 free games over 15 days. There was a couple of gems in there last year, but you should also log on there right now because they are giving away Pillars of Eternity and Tyranny for free, which are both really, really good games. So if you like some of the older style Fallout games, these are definitely awesome for you. Hyperspace is Ubisoft's battle royale shootery thingo game that I haven't touched, nor do I know much about. But if you want to earn $10 from the Ubisoft store, log on and play it just one time before December the 17th, and they'll give you $10 on an Ubisoft account that you can spend on things. This story was fun more than anything. So we know there's a massive shortage out there of the RTX 3090 graphics cards, which is just causing an abomination of a mess in terms of PC prices right now. We talked about it a little bit in the Cyberpunk episode this week. But what's hilarious is that there is now like organized crime specifically targeting stockers of PS5s and those graphics cards because they know the street value of those things right now to sell and the ease of selling them under the table. Because like, who's going to break into your house and the cops and look inside your computer in case you have a stolen 3090, right? No one. So it's kind of like a very high, easy to target thing. So there's this crazy footage out there of some of the methods some of these thieves have been using that no shit looks like something ripped straight out of Fast and the Furious. Did you guys watch that video I sent you before the show?
Oh, yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah. That one straight up wasn't even like looks kind of like it was what happened.
It's like night footage of like a truck on a freeway, and you see this car like getting closer and closer and closer. And then two dudes jump out of the passenger side of the car. One guy is walking to the front end of the car to start opening the back doors of the truck, while the other guy is hanging out the passenger window holding on to him. And yeah, they successfully match the speed of the truck and open the door. It's just nuts. And apparently, I think it's called, in the UK, they've named it rollovering or something. Where, this has been happening to trucks very regularly, shipping stuff across Europe on those just one-road highways, because they're pretty easy to predict when and where they're going to be. So, man, it's just goes to show that the PS5 is the fastest-selling console, I think, ever in a first month. They announced earlier this month. And, it's certainly attracting the attention of people trying to make a bit of cash off that shortage. So, not just diamonds worth the heist these days, boys. That's it. Destiny 2 was announced this week. It's going to be going to full crossplay in 2021. I want to see more announcements like this. Let's break down the barriers, except for exclusive titles. Just, let's play with everyone. I like it.
Yes. So then I can play on PC and crush some noobs on console and mobile.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, mate. When we have like a PS5 and a high-end PC, sometimes you just want the option to jump from one to the other. Like, especially if you've got like kids at an age where they can play video games and they're like on the new PlayStation exclusive, and you're like, oh, fuck it, I'll just go play Destiny 2 on the PC then. Doesn't matter. They're still...
Oh. Sorry, I was going to say, you were under the mistake that I let my kids touch my consoles. Yeah, no, there's a reason why we have 3 Nintendo Switches in this house.
Nice.
That's going to be a weird paradigm shift in parenting whenever you have to share your consoles and video games.
There's no paradigm shift.
I mean, the affordability is getting better and better every year for gaming anyway.
Stop it right there.
I mean, especially when we get to that, utopia of you won't need tech anymore. Just a good enough internet connection and we go to streaming. Like when that happens, I mean, bro... You'll be able to play like 5-player multiplayer in the same house. Like 2 kids are playing it through phones, one's playing it through a tablet, you're playing it on the TV. Do you know what I mean? Just all through the same internet connection.
I mean, my kids are playing. Yeah. They're playing Among Us right now, and that's multi. So if I wanted to, I could just hop on with them. Plus again, the things with like Stadia or whatever, they have iPads of their own. So when you do start to get to that process where all you need is a device connected to the internet and you can stream pretty much any game anywhere. Yeah. Now, I also want to make absolutely clear, when I had the Xbox, they had the Xbox One X or S. They had access to it, full access to it, but because they kept getting pissed off and throwing my controllers onto the ground, they lost it. And I kept telling them, like, you know what you're going to earn this back is if you guys can play together nicely. They can't play together.
Yeah, that's when you hear, like, people out there going, there is never a reason to hit a child. When I hear a story like that, I'm like, isn't there?
No, see, that's just it.
Clearly, I'm fucking joking. I'm not advocating violence against children, you fucking literal dicks. But, yeah.
Them losing the iPad or the Xbox was just as much for their own safety as it was for the not being pulled out of my house by Child Protective Services.
Speaking of which, did you guys see that baseball coach in the under 9s this week? Did you see that footage?
No, what?
Oh, did you see this, Hebrew? It's like US news, bro. How do I know more about news in your country most of the time we have these talks than you guys?
I honestly don't know.
This dude
because
went
we're so...
Because I'm on Reddit.
This guy went viral. Like, this is a grown-ass man who is coaching a Little League team at apparently some national Little League tournament. And, like, this kid, he's wearing a helmet, and then, like, this coach comes off and he is screaming at this kid. Right? The whole team's there, but he's screaming at this one kid. And then, punches the helmet. Kid drops to the ground. You're like, oh, that is fucked up. Kid gets up, walks a little bit around the crowd. Guy follows him, still screaming at him. Drops him again. You're like, the fuck is going on? Where are the parents, of this kid?
What the I would be running out and beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, and then he's screaming in the kid's face and sends him off the field. And, like, a few people are getting in the comments of just going, oh, man, that had to have been his kid. Like, there's no way you could do it to anyone else's kid and not die. Nope, wasn't his kid. But, yeah, like, LeBron James and a few other athletes came out after seeing the footage and, like, tweeting out stuff like, this is fucked up, this guy should never coach kids again, and all this other sort of stuff. And initially, they did revoke his, like, credentials as a coach. But no, gave it all back and just said it was misunderstanding. It's like, bro, how do you see that footage? And what's the misunderstanding?
Wait, a misunderstanding? You hit a kid twice.
Yeah, go on LeBron's Instagram page after the show, and you'll see the video in question. It's fucking disgusting. Yeah.
My God, dude, that is fucking and shame on the parents for not fucking rushing out there and stopping. I'm not sure.
They're not pressing charges, by the way. The family, they don't want to press charges. Insane. Crazy.
That's
crazy.
Insane.
Watch that footage. And when I say he hits the kid, I'm not even kidding. Like, there is a wind up and a right hook. It's not just a little tapping this kid in the helmet. And because he's 9, like, there's something about it. You go, I want to murder this dude immediately. Right? It's gross to watch.
I'm actually watching it right now.
Oh, God. It's not good. It's bad.
Oh shit, dude. He fucking.
He does it again. That's the messed up thing. He does it again.
What the fuck?
Should we have like a clip show? Write us prepare all the fucked up shit I watch in a week and bring it to you guys for like an episode.
Yeah, probably.
Oh wait, I think he's about to take his second shot. Dude, he's like, oh shit, dude.
I know. It's messed up.
He's fucking bowing up. He fucking bows up to these kids.
Man, even if I was on the other team and that kid had just punched like my son, if I saw that guy doing that, I would climb that fence and deck that guy.
I mean, if you are the parent of that child, especially, but even as like a parent, I think I'd be.
They put out a statement, that family, and basically said that not only do they want to press charges, but like that guy is normally a wonderful role model for the kids. And you're like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
Like,
it's like religious people defending pedo
he
priests.
was fucking
for me.
bowing up. He was straight up bowing up to children, dude. Like fucking what? Like, no, dude.
You know that guy's a piece of shit. Anyway, how do I finish with a piece of gaming news? That's good things. Well, good and bad. I'm kind of sad to see that this game lost its record. So Diablo 2, up until now, and I can't believe it still had the record considering, was the fastest selling PC game of all time, even up until 2020, which I did not know it still held that record. And it got knocked off this week by a very unlikely contender, which was WoW Shadowlands. World of Warcraft Shadowlands is now the fastest selling PC game ever. And this is a game that not only do you have to buy it, you have to pay to keep playing it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's fucking impressive as hell that Diablo 2 still has kept it until now.
True.
And B, like, there's way more people in the world now, and I feel like that's the reason why more so.
Are there more people? There's more gamers, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I should say more gamers in the world now that are currently playing.
There's more people for sure. Tell me there's not like a billion more people than back then.
There is, but I'm talking about...
I know this is news to you, Hooch, but since Diablo 2 came out, people still kept fucking.
And people were dying.
Not at that rate, though. Well, let's have a look. When did Diablo 2 come out?
World growth rate is over 1. So it's like 1.4.
Yeah, third world's carrying us. Like we're going backwards here because we're all like, should I play lots of video games and go bang my wife? Yeah, Cyberpunk's pretty good, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, for Diablo 2, like, I mean, it dropping, like it was inevitable, but I think Shadowlands is picking it up mostly because it's just like there's so much extra time to play content now, video games.
Yeah.
That it's more of just that than anything else. Not really commenting on it's a good game or not.
Okay, the year
And let's be
2000,
honest,
the world population was 6.1 billion. In 2020, it's just under 7.8.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was something like that's. It's like a 1.3 or 4 growth.
Yeah.
Okay, so technically he was correct.
Dicks have been thrown, is what you're saying.
People.
It's about an extra 1% a year, is what they're saying, is the average growth. It has been declining. It was like 1.3, 1.29, 1.27. Every year it drops a little bit as people discover virtual reality porn.
Yeah,
I think it was in.
Yeah.
No, I think it's.
But here's the funny thing.
Isn't there
about
like a
this,
hell of a
though?
lot more dudes than ladies now worldwide?
Oh Jesus, no!
I have no idea.
I think we're in an official.
It's a sausage fest.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Good times.
No.
But hey,
well, I would say it's a circle jerk, but there are too many flat earthers out there.
It's a flat earth. It's a pancake dick, is what you're saying. What would you call that? A flap stack? Are we going to invent a new sexual maneuver right now? The flap stack. Yes. It's where you flatten out your foreskin like paper.
I don't know if it'll
and then you
catch
get a buddy.
Oh Jesus!
You guys are fucked up. Things that come out of your mouth. Honestly, I don't know how I do the show with you two.
Filthy.
Jesus Christ.
What I was gonna say though is like Shadowlands beating Diablo. That's like Disney's next movie overtaking the previous movie for number one. It's like yes, it doesn't. It's like it's the same studio. It's the same company.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Diablo 2 was.
Oh no, yeah, it's the fact that it was that long. You said 2000?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not sure when.
Year
when
2000, yeah.
Is it
June
Diablo 2 or
29th,
Diablo
2000, yeah.
Included.
That had to be Diablo 2.
That was Diablo 2, yeah.
Right,
Yep.
just
Like,
not an expansion pack or anything.
I don't know if expansion's included in it or not. That's all. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
it's physically impossible for there to be
Right.
more copies of Throne of Baal than Diablo 2 base game because you can't buy an expansion for a game you don't have.
But I think we're talking about fastest selling, right? So by that time, you could have had more people who owned it, and then
It's possible.
Like you know, if you sold 4 million copies or whatever, and then all of a sudden 6 million have it, then the next time the expansion pack, there's 6 million.
It does seem crazy this hasn't been like continuously reset year on year every year since. I don't understand. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact is that like mobile games will have to take over this one day, I think, just because of install base alone.
Oh, that is 100% inevitable. Like we're already moving towards that right now.
It is inevitable.
Yeah, I think the player base on mobile is now higher than PC or console or anything like
Oh, it
that.
has to be.
Yes, because it includes people playing Candy Crush and all those damn slot machine games.
Still a game though.
Still considered gamers.
Let me ask you this question: if you were single and you went on a
Hey,
date,
man, anyone that gets you into the
if you were a single person, you went on a date, right? And at the table, the person sitting opposite you, you've gone on a date with, if that person said, "Yeah, I'm a pretty hardcore gamer," and you're like, "Oh, awesome! I love playing games too. Like, what are you into?" And they said, "Oh, I'm pretty good at Candy Crush. I play it 3 or 4 hours a day." How would you react?
I'd leave.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
we're done.
I would say I'll show you hardcore gaming. That's not gaming.
Would you now? I would say I'm a pretty hardcore marathon runner, as you can see by the amount of running I do, not do.
I was gonna say I would just turn around and say I'm a hardcore esports athlete.
yeah, right.
What game would you say you're an esports athlete in, Hooch? What game would you
Oh
qualify?
god, it doesn't matter really at this point.
No, I think it does.
I you know what? I would just one up them. I would one up them and be like, yeah, I play Toy Blast.
Toy Blast? What is that?
It's another game like Candy Crush.
Oh god, it sounds like a what do you call it? Roblox version of Splatoon.
Oh Jesus.
Let me ask you this: would you rather be with a girl who's like, what do you like to do? And then she's like, shopping. Or would you rather be with a girl who's like, what do you like to do? And he's like, oh, I like to play games on my phone, like Candy Crush.
Yeah.
I think I'd go for the Candy Crush girl.
Yeah. I mean, depending on how much of an addict she is, because I mean, it could end up costing you about the same.
Is she spending her own money or my money?
She can spend her own money.
Because if she's spending her own money, then yeah, go shopping. I'll play some Cyberpunk while you're gone.
I would say if she's down for that, then she's probably open to like it's a gateway video game. So maybe she'd be interested in playing some other video games.
I think.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean
it
that.
doesn't work that
Yeah,
way.
at least Animal Crossing, which is rated one of the games of the year. So I mean, theoretically, she's
there
more
you
of a
go.
populous gamer than we are.
Yeah, then you go from Animal Crossing to was it Back
Doom
4 Blood?
Eternal.
No.
Yeah.
But
The
my
logical
mother-in-law
next step.
plays my mother-in-law
exactly.
played Candy Crush. No. It's not gonna she's 73 years old.
Then they're
but
playing
no.
like Manhunt. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, I go home and she's killing hookers in GTA 5 and it's like,
Yeah.
what are you
I
doing?
think that would be a very interesting time in your life. I am scared but also aroused. That's fucking interesting. Yeah.
Oh man,
I don't know how we got onto that, but yeah.
hey,
we're
because
punch
we're all
drunk.
overtired and drifting. I've given up committing us to a format at this point. It's definitely into waffle territory. That's what happens when we're in recording for. The timer is now sitting at, since we started the Patreon recording, 5 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, please, for the love of God, Andrew, it's so late. It's so
Look,
late over
if
here,
you
dude.
have made it this far as a Patreon, make sure you let us know in the Patreon chat. Because if you listen to all of this in the unedited version, bathroom breaks and all, bro, dude, lady, whatever.
Hats off.
Fuck, that's impressive. Because, yeah, it was rough doing it. Listening back. And look, to all of you who listened to all 3 episodes this week as well, make sure you let us know. And look, what do you think about this idea as well? Like, obviously, there's not always going to be this many news things to warrant, 3 episodes in a week. But do you prefer it when we split these episodes up? Because we know that in the weeks where there are big news and it's like 3 or 4 hours, it can be pretty daunting. And obviously not everyone who's into nerdy things is into gaming and vice versa. So make sure you leave us that feedback over on discord.me/ANR. Hell, if you don't have Discord, email me at, what's an email that's safe? Chewburger84@gmail.com. I'll make that email now. And we can figure it out.
Too
from there.
late. I
Yeah.
already made it.
Oh, there's going to be so many dick porn in there now. God. Only because I know like Grim is just going to send me like dick memes over and over now that he has that email. All right.
Stuff, yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to us, folks. If you want to go the extra mile for us, though, if you think we're worth it, make sure you tell your friends about the podcast. Make sure you head to Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review, preferably with a comment. We'll read it out for you next week if it's a 5-star or above. Patreon.com is the best place to support the show if you want to help keep us on the air. Patreon.com/ANR pod. And again, the Discord is discord.me/ANR if you want to join the populations and help contribute to the show. We will do a big shout out for the patrons and whatnot next week in a bit more of a grander way, just because it's been a lot of listening for you guys. Please understand that we love everything that you've done to support us and the show. But I'm sure after 6 hours of content this week, even you guys want to get out of here. So, look, thank you very much for the marathon session, Hebrew. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys.
And for Dahooch, thank you very much, mate. I think we're about to get hit with some kind of like human rights violation for slave labor by continuously bringing you on for no money.
Interesting how you called it slave labor.
Don't be that fucking guy.
Cancel.
Anyway, it was Hooch's last episode this week, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm emancipated freedom. No.
I promise you I'll make it up to you in the future. Is that what the promise we make?
No, this has been a blast. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys and chatting about nerdy shit.
When we're still talking bullshit and making jokes at 6 hours in, obviously we're doing all right together. But look, here's hoping it's interesting to someone else that actually listen. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so I've been Shoemaker 84. We'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.